These are 3 super easy DIY Dollar Tree wreaths, under $15. For the first wreath, I'm going to use a Grapevine wreath. It's from Hobby Lobby. You can get it for $2 with a coupon. This is the only item not from the Dollar Tree. Then 5 Dollar Tree berries. They're kind of stuck together, so you just kind of pull them apart. And then I cut each stem off just using scissors. It was really easy. And then there's shorter berries connected to the longer stems of berries, and those just pull right off. Okay, so I separated the long from the short. Starting with the long, I'm going to work my way from the outside of the wreath to the inside of the wreath until I'm out of long stems. Then for the shorter pieces, I am going to use hot glue to connect it to the wreath, and I start in the middle of the wreath and work my way towards the inside. When I'm finished with that, I go back, and any small leftover pieces, I use those to fill in the gaps. This was a super easy wreath, super simple, and I love the way it turns out. It's a little bit different from your traditional Christmas wreath. For the second wreath, you'll need a hula hoop. I got mine from Dollar Tree. If your Dollar Tree doesn't have them, I saw them at Dollar General or Walmart. And then you're going to use 4 pieces of garland. And what you're going to do first is take 3 pieces of garland and cut it down to 7.5 to 8 inches. I used a book because it was easier. You definitely don't have to do it this way. Wrap it around the book, and then that way I could fold it and then just cut where the creases are. I didn't use the garland ties from Dollar Tree because they're thinner than the long strips of garland, and also I needed longer than 6 inches, and it would just waste garland that way. So you have 3 pieces of garland cut up, and then you have 4 that are not. Taking the 3 pieces of garland that are cut up, you're going to work your way around the wreath, putting the strips down about every 1.5 to 2 inches, and you're going to have about 1.5 to 2 inches hanging over from the hula hoop on the inside. I continue to do that, and then with the first stack of garland, you should be about this far. The second pile should have you almost complete with the hula hoop. And then I used about 10 pieces from the third pile of garland. Put the third pile of garland off to the side because I'm going to use that in a second. I'm folding back the pieces that I left hanging over in the inside of the hula hoop. And then I took my 4th piece of garland that I did not cut up, and I'm measuring out the same size as the hula hoop. Cut that off, and then put the rest of the 4th piece off to the side. Using the hot glue gun, I'm gluing the garland to the hula hoop, and I'm also pressing against the strips of garland that I already glued down. I cut up the 4th piece of garland just like I did the first 3 pieces of garland. And with those little pieces, I fold them in half, and I place them around my wreath to make it look more full, about every 2 to 3 inches apart. Once I have them laid out how I want them, I take the hot glue gun and I glue them to the wreath. After the glue is dried, I'm just taking white acrylic paint and a dried up makeup brush and dabbing all over the wreath to make it look like snow. And here it is, my $5 36-inch wreath. Super stoked about how this turned out. I'm actually going to put this one outside. For my third and final DIY, I'm also using a hula hoop from the Dollar Tree. This time I'm using 6 pieces of the Dollar Tree garland, 2 of the pine picks that look like this. They'll have 3 pine cones on them, and then 5 of the pine picks that look like this with only 2 pine cones. I'm going to cut 5 of the 6 garland just like I did on the last DIY. I'm doing everything the exact same from the first wreath, except before I start painting or making it look flocked, I flip it over and I'm taking the 2 extra piles of garland I cut up and I'm gluing it to the back of the wreath. So I'm not hanging over any of the garland. This garland will stick out because I want this wreath to be a little bit more full than the first one because I'm going to hang this inside. Then I just take the picks and pull them apart. They're really easy to pull apart. Taking the berries and pine cones and leaves and just randomly hot gluing them all over the wreath. And when I'm finished, it looks like this. I'm super excited about this one. I'm gonna put this in my dining room. Here are all 3 of my wreaths, all 3 under $15. In fact, the biggest one is only $14 and it's 41 inches wide. Thank you so much for watching.